Hello everybody and welcome back. Good to talk to all of you again today, and today I'm gonna do a video talking about the legendary modules for the battleships and the carriers, and of course one correction about the Minotaur, which I made just an atrocious mistake in the last video on. If my voice sounds like crap, I apologize for that. I have been working 2 jobs today and all teaching jobs, so I've been talking for about 10 hours, I think, combined across all my classrooms, and my voice is just gone it's just gone. So I'm gonna get this video recorded and get it uploaded so you guys have something to watch and something to talk about. And before I get to it, the previous 2 videos I pulled one code for a May crate and a June crate. So right now there's an image coming up for the winner of the May crate. The May crate was the one I had to re-pull. And of course, here is the winner for the June crate. So if you see your name coming up, please send me a private message on YouTube and I will get that code sent out to you. Okay, let's get to the actual video itself. First things first, Minotaur, I made a pretty crappy mistake last time. For some bizarre reason, when I was calculating the smoke, I don't know what was going on. I think I misread something and I calculated a number that was just way off base. The difference between the legendary upgrade versus the the Minotaur without the upgrade, in terms of the actual smoke duration, is not significant. Not that significant. It's about 13 seconds more with the legendary module. However, this module allows the Minotaur to lay a lot, make no mistake, a lot of smoke. And if she wants, Minotaur can now have essentially a Perth smoke, the smoke that allows the Minotaur to just move across the map. And unlike the Perth smoke, however, the smoke that the Minotaur lays, each puff that it lays, actually lasts for 1.5 minutes, compared to Perth, where the smoke, dissipates within, like, let's say 10 seconds. So for Minotaur, having this legendary module is definitely something quite interesting. She can now act as sort of a two-pronged thing. One, she can be a moving smoke cloud, and two, of course, she can also provide her team with an incredibly long line of smoke cover. So something interesting to consider on the Minotaur. But that's the correction. It was mostly to do with the time screw-up. So now, with that out of the way, let's cover the battleships. And the battleships is interesting because, well, a lot of the tier 10 battleship modules aren't really all that great. The one on Yamato, on paper, it actually looks quite nice, right? Because you look at it and you're like, whoa, the enhanced main gun battery, it drops the reload time of your guns, and you also get crazy good dispersion, right? At least on paper, because it's like you're like 7% here, 7% here, 14% reduction in dispersion. And it's getting better. When I played the Yamato with these 2 modules, the dispersion felt better, that's for sure. The shells were more accurate. However, they're not like laser. This is definitely not like the kind of dispersion you will see with the current work in progress Stalingrad 1, the one with the cruiser dispersion. It's nothing like that. You're still getting battleship dispersion. It's just better battleship dispersion. So the shells still have a tendency of kind of going a little wild at times and things like that. Now, with this particular module, there is a sort of price to pay, which is the main battery traverse speed drops by 19%. To put that into perspective, turret traverse speed is 66.1 seconds. That's with expert marksman on, of course, not the Yamato captain, just on the regular one. With expert marksman, 66.1. It really, with this particular module, makes the Yamato into floating fortress kind of thing. And if you're doing any kind of turn, any kind of thing, your guns just will not track. Now, if you're a kind of player of the Yamato, and again, this is sort of the Yamato playstyle, right? If you're kind of the player who holds a position, is pretty static, you don't care. You literally do not care about the poor turret traverse, in which case, the dispersion plus the reload is a pretty substantial buff to the Yamato. But in the event that you play the Yamato a little bit more maneuvering in there, a little bit more movement, that turret traverse really does hurt. Makes the guns painfully slow. So for those Yamato players out there, this module can offer you very, very good sort of perks if you are a very sort of static kind of Yamato player. If you're the Yamato player who has a tendency of at least moving around and, you know, not really a great module because it's just too much of a penalty, right? It's just too much of a penalty. The guns, when you have this thing, your guns just don't turn. They just feel terrible. So for the Yamato, this module is very sort of playstyle specific. So do keep that in mind. Now, Montana, well, Montana's got an interesting one. The Enhanced Damage Control System Legendary Upgrade. What do I think about this module? Personal preference first. I don't think I would ever give up detectability, right? Because Montana is really supposed to have that detectability module, make yourself stealthier, you know, so you can move into positions and just surprise people. But once you take that concealment module away and you go with the Enhanced Damage Control System module, you lose that concealment. I mean, your detectability goes up to 15 kilometers. And for Montana, that's just... I don't think that's worth 10% reduction to fire extinguisher. I don't think that's really worth like 10% reduction to flooding. If this was more substantial, think, let's say, Hindenburg levels of subtracting fire extinguisher and flooding time, then I can see this module being better. But other than that, not really seeing it. So, yeah, Montana's legendary module is mostly forgettable, in my opinion. Needs to be kind of more like Hindenburg's, I think. Okay, Großer Kurfürst. Okay, so Großer Kurfürst has a module that affects her main guns and her secondary guns. Now, what it does is it drops the range down by 8%. Really not that big of a deal. I mean, to be honest, most times when you're playing battleships, if you're trying to snipe at 20 kilometers, you're playing your ship wrong. So, 19 kilometer range, that's plenty. Main battery traverse speed of a 7% reduction, that is not substantial at all, considering, hey, if you go with main battery mod 3, it's a 13% reduction. And this one gives you 15% reduction to your main battery loading times. Yeah, I think the Kurfürst upgrade is actually pretty good. And plus, you do have that nice little buff to your secondary guns as well. I would say for a Großer Kurfürst, yeah, I'm going to say Enhanced Main Armaments is probably going to be the go-to mod, because everything else is just kind of meh in comparison to it. Moving on. Conqueror Module. Oh, man. In a kind of joking manner, Wargaming must have watched those videos back in the day when we were saying Conqueror is just like Mega Zhao, because they went ahead and they made it so that she now, with enhanced engineering systems and the 40% reduction to your rudder shift time, Conqueror is basically a really big cruiser, because your rudder shift time drops to 8.3 seconds. It's literally cruiser level rudder shift. So that, and the fact that your turrets traverse faster, yeah. Conqueror, this is interesting. I mean, of course, you do have to give up concealment, so that can be a bit painful. You know, concealment in Conqueror is excellent, and it is a big part of her playstyle, but if you're like, I can live without it, and, you know, instead just like be like dodge and weave and everything, then this might just be your thing. So, yeah, something to think about on the Conqueror, that's for sure. Although, whether this is a truly, like, upgrade, not sure. I would say this is more like side grade, right? Montana's is just, I don't even know what that was. Yamato, side up-ish, for example. Kurfürst, I thought that was a really good upgrade. And then, of course, we come to Republic, and Republic, seriously, the legendary module is just, this is the best thing you can possibly have on a Republic, because Republic is all about just having as fast of a reload as possible, right? You don't have a lot of guns, but you have that ridiculously fast reload, and hey, you get another 6% reduction to your reload speed compared to main battery mod 3. Why the heck not? Who cares if there's a small penalty to range or traverse speed? Republic, absolutely. I mean, your turrets are fast enough anyways, right? But look at that. That reload. just makes Republic that much better. I mean, this legendary upgrade is absolutely upgrade. No question about it. If I was playing Republic, that is something I would absolutely want for my ship. And finally, let's move on to the carriers. And carriers is just, oh, please. I don't really want to talk about carriers because, one, I'm really just thinking, okay, carrier rework is coming. Everything about carriers is kind of whatever. But Midway, for example, your planes are more durable, so I'll give you that. Your attack aircraft, like your dive bombers, they're more durable, right? Your torpedo bombers, they become a little bit more durable, but you lose 5% cruising speed. That's your bombers, your fighters. I just don't know. I would take 15% increase in my attack aircraft, but then suffer a pretty substantial speed penalty. Because, look at this, Flight Control Mod 2, 5% speed. That's how significant it is. That entire module only gives 5%. Here you're going to lose that 5%, right? And you don't normally equip this. So your planes are going to be slow. Very, very slow. But of course, remember, Midway runs up against Hakuryu, and Haku gets stronger fighters by 15% HP. They gain 5% cruising speed. Like, okay. I mean, Haku's fighters durability goes up to 2,941. Just okay. Anyways, so Midway is kind of like, okay, maybe side grade there, and then Haku, it's like, yep, that is the clear superior thing that you would want, because with Haku, 3 fighter squadrons with that kind of buff in terms of speed and durability, yeah, Haku is king of tier 10 CVs again, so I would think I'm just gonna leave it like that. Anyways, folks, it is getting kind of late. I do need to absolutely pass out. Can barely stay awake anymore, so good nights. Hope you guys have yourselves a good one. And I'll talk to all of you again really, really soon.